All right, here we are. Hey, everyone. We're here live on LinkedIn today. I'm Karen Yankovich, and I'm here with the beautiful Amy Thurman. And I wanted to bring Amy on today. Amy's actually been on, I should find the episode number. We should promote that here. Amy's actually been a guest on my podcast. She was a student in one of my programs. And Amy and I are here today to just dish because we've been here in Karen Yankovich land. We've been running a free training this week called PR Prestige. And it's been a lot of fun. I've reimagined how these trainings can look in a lot of ways, and it's different than anything I've ever done before. So today was the last day of that, and I wanted a chance for some of the people that have taken this training to meet some of our students, and we thought, what better place to do that than here on LinkedIn? So if you are watching us here on LinkedIn, whether you were a part of this training or not, you totally need to know Amy Thurman. I'm going to let Amy introduce herself to you.
Oh, Karen, thank you so much for having me. It's such an honor to know you and to be here to chat with you. I'm Amy Thurman. I have lived the past 10 years with a broken neck that went undetected for 6 months. I have gone from being completely incapacitated to now living an empowered life and am a completely different person, living a completely different life than I ever imagined. And I can thank you for a lot of that. Like I keep saying to people, Karen taught me things I didn't know that I didn't know. And because of that, I have been able to do things, honestly, I never dreamed that I'd be able to do. And I'm helping people that I never dreamed that I'd be able to help. And so I published my book and so many exciting things happening, but I'm just happy to be here. Thank you so much, Karen.
Well, I'm excited to have you. And I mentioned earlier today that earlier in this, like we're 1 minute 53 minutes in. I mentioned a minute ago that that this training that we've been running, this PR prestige training, is we're trying to really do this a little bit differently. And one of the things that I was challenged by many people to do was to really kind of create this training in a way that flows. There's a point to this, by the way, that flows with my intuition, that rather than all the things we were taught to do and I've had a ton of training, like all the training I've had to just do it differently. And it's not easy for me to do that because I have this like really logical left brain. I also think our logo for She's LinkedUp is this like yin yang, because I think that there's a lot of right brain stuff that we teach as well. My left brain was going, I don't want to, Karen, you need to, 2 + 2 = 4. But I was challenged by somebody, and I talked about this for those of you that watched the training today, I talked about this a little bit on the training, to say, well, yeah, but so does 3 + 1, and so does 0.5 + 0.5 + 3. There's a lot of ways to get to 4. You don't always have to do 2 + 2, right? So I really kind of just, despite any crazy stuff that came up in my life, despite any crazy stuff that came up in my business, just kind of really leaned into this with, this is the energy I want to have in this event. And the event was really about how to use LinkedIn to create a brand for yourself using PR to do that. So this morning, right, knowing that we were doing this today at 2:30 p.m. Eastern, I go on LinkedIn and what do I see? Amy Thurman goes on and goes, you guys, I'm going to be on a billboard on Times Square in January. I was like, what? Wait, what? So like, talk about being in alignment. Like, I just like, no, I'm staying in alignment. I'm staying in alignment. This is what happens when you stay in alignment. The universe shows up to say, okay, Karen, we can talk about this now. We can talk about this now. And like, when you stay in alignment, these beautiful things happen for you. 2 + 2 = 4, but so does 3 + 1, right? So Amy, you got to tell us, because I've been dying all day, but I didn't want to ask you because I wanted to have it here. Tell us how this happened. How is it that you're going to be? Because we're doing a field trip to New York, by the way, to see your billboard. Tell us how this happened, that you're going to be shining your beautiful, brilliant light on Times Square.
Oh my goodness. I will give you the short version, but I do have to start with, it all started with a conversation I had with you about imposter syndrome. I know you remember this because one of my very first meetings with someone who intimidated me, I said to you, I can't do it. I have to cancel it because I'm not good enough to talk to this person. And you're like, what? Hold on here. And we really had to work through that. Like I had to work through imposter syndrome, and you helped me see myself beyond the way I was viewing myself. So you helped me step into the person I wanted to be. I wasn't that person, but you helped me learn to step into becoming that person and seeing myself as that person. And once I was able to do that, to see myself as that person I wanted to become, I just pretty much opened myself up to, okay, I'm just going to start reaching out to people. I'm a relationship person. Like, I genuinely love to get to know people. I don't want to sell you something. I just like to get to know people and make connections. And one of part of your program was that's what we do. Like, we make connections with people on LinkedIn. And one of the first connections I made was with Blair Kaplan Venables, who is a grief and resilience expert. And she was creating a book, her second book on resilience, stories of resilience, and asked me if I wanted to be in her book. So one of my very first assignments from you that I took action on was an invitation to write a chapter in a book. And I was just like, holy cow. And so I went through that whole process. And now, as part of that book came out in March. And as part of that book, now Blair is she's putting us on the billboard on Times Square. Every one of the co authors were going to be on that billboard on Times Square in January. And so I just found out late last night, and I thought, I don't know how to tell everyone. I'm just like in shock still. Like, how is
That's
this
so
my life?
incredible.
Like, I didn't
I
even
know, it's
expect
so
this. It
incredible.
just,
And honestly, I mean, I live in New Jersey, so there's no way I'm missing it. I'm already thinking, wait, this is how crazy I am. I might be in Florida in January. Do I have to come back to New York for this? I will, because I'm going to do that if I have to. But because here's the deal. I would love to say Amy's picture is going to be on this billboard in Times Square and Amy's phone is going to ring off the hook the next day. And that is probably not how this is going to work. But what this is going to do for your brand and your credibility is second to nothing, right? Because when we talk about in the strategies that we teach in our She's Linked Up program, which is where we met, right? You became a student of ours. It's not really about showing up and selling a pen. It's about getting a distributor that wants to buy 10,000 of your pens, right? And Amy, because I've probably said it to you more times than you wanted to hear it. Where's the money? Where's the money? Where's the money? Where's the money? Because as much as I want you to have this beautiful, brilliant visibility, I also want you to be able to keep doing this. And the only way we can keep doing this is if we can keep the roof over our heads, right? So we also want to be building a plan for wealth. And I'm not talking about just keeping the roof over your head, because somebody said this to me recently and it was so powerful, which was good people do good things with a lot of money. And I'm like, this is so true. And so we want there to be, and a year ago, you weren't doing any of this, right? So where's the credibility, right? There is none. But this media and these opportunities and the fact that you were invited to be a part of this book and the fact that you came out with a book of your own and the fact that you've been helping people consistently over the past year with these kinds of things is where you monetize this stuff, right? But so being able to, I don't know hopefully it'll be all of the above, a video and lots of pictures and, some little Mary Tyler Moore flipping of your hat and pointing to the picture of you on Times Square, right? Like, hopefully that all of that's going to serve you for so long now. And it's going to help people say yes, because that's what we want, right? We want people to say yes to investing in us. And sometimes that investment, like people said yes to investing with me in this PR prestige program, even though it was free, right? They said yes to investing their time with me, right? So the first investment we get from people is their time, right? So the next step then is the investment in, obviously when they invest in our products and programs. So I love so much that you're doing this. And you remember that I said to you, so can I talk a little bit about the Karen and Amy journey? Is that okay with you, Amy?
oh, of course. Yes.
So
Yeah.
when I don't actually know how we first connected, but you were on my
I
calendar.
I do. I saw a
Okay.
video. I saw a
Okay.
video of you. I was looking to get into LinkedIn to learn more about it, and I saw one of your videos, and I
Okay.
just scheduled a call with you. Yeah.
Okay, so Amy appears on my calendar. And when I have these calls with people, which I, love to have, I truly do. There's so many people that say, oh, I can't do calls anymore. I'm like, I love doing calls because I like Amy. I get to meet the people. I get to really get to know people, right? And Amy at the time was in a direct sales company, which is not really my specialty, right? So I was like, when I have these calls with people, by the way, I'm not trying to sell you anything. I'm trying to see if I think I can help you. And I wasn't sure because I wasn't really an expert in helping people build their direct sales business. But Amy just had this spark and this passion. And I think you're still doing this, because I kind of want to bring you back to this, because one of the things that Amy, what I saw in Amy was, she introduced herself as, I live with a broken neck. So what that means is Amy is not as employable as many other people, right? Because she can't drive to a place at 9 o'clock and stay till 5 o'clock and take a lunch hour and take a 15-minute break, right? So she has been working since this injury has happened to build a career for herself, a life for herself, that allows her to still shine her light and do it in a way that fits in with where her energy is, where she has the energy, right? So one of the things that really hooked me on you was you wanted to show other people with disabilities how to do that. You were like, there's so many underemployed people that are so brilliant but are underemployed because they're not employable as a traditional 9 to 5 employee. And you really wanted to show them that there are other ways to do this, right? 1 plus 3 also equals 4, not just 2 plus 2. So Candy, if by the way, Candy, I did as a coach that I worked with actually just yesterday. She is a human design coach, and she taught me that little thing yesterday, that you can get to 4, Karen, lots of different ways. So if you're watching this, Candy, just know I heard you, and I've used that about 5 times already today. But I love that. So I was like, all right, let's see if we can do this. Let's see if we can, we'll bring you into the program, and let's do this. So Amy comes in and she starts killing it, getting media all over the place. And my left brain's going, oh my God, where's the money? I got to help her find them. Like I got to help her monetize this, because I want her to keep doing this, and the only way she's going to be able to keep doing this is if she's monetizing. And the funny thing is, you are so good at building relationships. And I will say that when people ask me, what is the one thing that I really need to have success in your program? It really is, you got to do the outreach. Like, I can teach you all the strategies, but if you don't do that outreach, and then there's the mindset component, right? You have to feel like kind of worthy of doing that outreach. It's just going to be a lot harder for you to have success. But you were like, I got this. And you just started doing outreach. And I'm like getting, like, all of a sudden I'm seeing Amy pop up on all my friends' podcasts and all these things. I'm getting my hair cut a couple weeks ago with Maria Fontana. And Maria's like, Amy Thurman. I'm like, right? Am I right? So like, she's popping up everywhere because she was so committed to getting her message out there. So brilliant of you to do that. Really so brilliant of you to do that.
Thank you. Thank you so much. When I was laying flat, I had to lay flat for 23 hours a day for almost a year after the accident. And one of the things, that's a whole different story that I outline in detail in my book, but I almost swallowed a handful of pills because it was miserable for me and my family. But I realized that I could take the same energy I was using fighting to die and use it to fight to live instead. But I was going to do it with the intention of using my story to help other people. And so that was my mission then, and that is still my mission, and it will always be my mission, to do whatever I can to help other people. And I feel like the basis of that is relationship. Like, I have to get to know people, where they are, what they want, and how I can help them. And so, yeah, I just start reaching out to people in a genuine way. I think, with LinkedIn and with any platform, it can be so spammy, but I reached out in a genuine way. I really wanted to help and get to know these people. And the response was so overwhelming, Karen, that you will remember you told me to stop booking podcast interviews.
I did. It's the first, one only time I've ever said that in my life, because I am not just looking for you to get the media attention. I'm looking for you to have money in the bank. And I was like, and I also recognize, so like in our She's LinkedUp program, it's really a very hybrid program. And when I say that to say that it's a group program, but it's a very individualized. And I knew that Amy only had this much energy, and all of that energy was going to these interviews. And I was like, okay, you got to pull back, because you need to save some energy to start building your business around this, so it is literally the one only time I was like, enough with the interviews. Like, you got to save some energy for the money making stuff, right?
Yeah.
But it is. I hope you all heard what Amy said, because even in this free training that we did this week, by the way, you guys can still get in on this. If you go to KarenYankovich.com/PR prestige, this is going to be a paid course in my program next week. You'd have to pay to get this course, but it's still free. So if you go in there, it's the live sessions are done, but you can still get all the replays, and the course will be available to you. All of the interviews and all of the training will be available to you at KarenYankovich.com/PR prestige. And even in that question, and I actually did an interview this morning. Amber McHugh is a colleague of mine, and one of the things I teach in my program is building joint venture relationships, right? So I had the perfect example of that. Amber interviewed me for an event that she's doing, and I got an introduction to all of her students. And even somebody on there said, well, I don't know, what do I say? Like, I don't reach out because I don't want to feel spammy. But did you hear what Amy said? She reached out, and it was almost, I think you got almost 100% response rate, because it was never spammy. It was always looking for a warm way to get into that conversation, and looking for a warm way of just genuinely building relationships with people, not just saying, I need to get more calls on my calendar. She just was like, no, I want to really know these people. And that is the key to the success with all the stuff we're talking about here.
I do want to say too that yes, that is so true. And that was how it started. Now, what's happening is because I've built those genuine relationships with people, those people are referring me to other people. Like a lot of the referrals I'm getting are because of people I have built those relationships with, are sending my name to other people, and they're reaching out to me now. And so it just, the ball, it's like a snowball. It just keeps going and going. But you
It's
got to start with
exactly right.
yeah, the genuine relationship.
That's exactly right. When we talk to, part of the things that we teach in our program is speaking, right? How do you get more speaking engagements too? Because it's all part of your LinkedIn strategy, right? And I wish I could sit here and tell you, and here's the 4 things you need to do, and then you'll get a paid speaking engagement. But honestly, the best way to get paid speaking engagements is to do free ones. Because for every free speaking engagement you do, 3 people are going to come up to you and say, I've got this event. What's your rate? Do you know what I mean? They don't know that it was a free one, right? So again, 1 + 3 = 4. How do you get to those paid speaking engagements? By building those relationships. Because when you do this from this, always from this place of authenticity, when you do it from this place of authenticity, the more opportunities come. And it has never been more important in the history of the world. Authenticity has never been more important in this world of AI, where we don't even know if the people we're talking to are humans. We don't even know if they're real people, right? And I am I got this real geeky left. Where's the left brain? I got this real geeky left brain, and that go along with my right brain. I love AI, and I know how important it is that people know it's actually me showing up. And that's one of the things you're doing. You are showing up as Amy, and that's what people are connecting to, not Amy who, again, like even what I talked about with this event, right? Like we all go through, I teach people how to do this stuff. So of course I learn from other people as well. But what we need to do is take what we learn from all these other people and then make it our own. Right. And that's what you did. And that's, what I do. And that's what I really want all of my students to do. I might joke and say, listen, if you're going to hire me, then do it my way for a while, a little bit. Let's see if we can get you some clients first, and then you can modify it. Like I joke that, like, I don't hire a plumber and tell him how to fix his pipe. So if you're going to hire me, let's try it my way. Cause there's a lot of ways, again, to get to 4, right? But at some point, then you are going to make it your own, and you are going to build out a business because everybody's got a different, your plan for your business was, I want to fit it in to the life I want to build. You had a family that was there for a lot of years, supporting you in whatever way they could or couldn't, right? And then now you have an opportunity maybe to make some real money and do some things for them, right? And you want to do it, like some people say, I want to be home at 3:00 to get my kids off the bus. Other people say, I want to spend a month in Italy and work, right? So everybody's got a different plan of what their vision of success looks like. And once you've got the plan, you can modify the plan so that it fits that, so that it supports that vision, not just fits that vision, so that it supports that vision.
Yeah, exactly. And you remember when I first came to you, I was like all over the place. Like, I don't know, this is what I want to do. I want to change the world. I want to be this person that helps people. And you're like, okay, but how are you going to do that? I was like, ooh, I don't know. How am I going to do that? It's so,
Yeah.
it was like I had no clue
But
what
you
I
know
was
what? And
doing.
that's common, right? That's common. And I literally have to, I can very easily get distracted by shiny objects. So I have a strong commitment within our She's Linked Up Accelerator program to eliminate shiny objects as much as I possibly can, not just for me, but for you. Like sometimes somebody will say, well, Karen, but can I use this content on Instagram? I'm like, yes, but we're not talking about that here. Do you know what I mean? Because I don't want to go down that path, so it's important. Like, what we do here is teach you the process. And once you learn the process, then you can go down any shiny object system you want. But the more times you change the outcome you want, the harder it is to build the system, right? So I'm not saying you can't change your mind, but I am saying I do what I can do to keep you as focused as possible, because once you learn how to get the clients, you can pay people to help you with all that other stuff that is sucking you dry and sucking up all of your time, right? So that's really one of the reasons why we do that. It's common for people to come to us with all these ideas, and we try to, and if we've got, if Carol's listening, Carol has coined the term that I've stolen from her, which is procrastinating, right? Like, I'm going to get this training and I'm going to get that training and I'm going to, like, no, let's stop training and start doing. Okay, let's get some clients in the door. So that's where I bring like my jersey to the table and say, like, all right, like, pick this and we can change it, but the less we change it, the sooner you're going to get to your end goal. But I think too, sometimes we have to live it till we know it, right? Don't you think that
Mhm.
happened for you? You had to kind of live it till you found where your exact, and you're going to change it again, by the way. But you had to live it till you started, till the path started to become clear.
Yeah, absolutely. I remember sitting with Cindy, who's on your team, who actually writes the profiles. I had my first meeting with her saying, and she went in depth, like, who are you? What do you want to do? How do you want to do it? And I was like, the same, I don't know. I think this is how I want to do it. And she put together this profile for me, and I looked at it and I was like, who is that person? Who is this person in this profile? And she said, that's you. Like, she took everything I shared with her and she put it into a form that I was like, that's impressive. Like, I never would have come up with that on my own. And
And
I
that's why
want
we
to
do it this way.
say,
I mean, we had to have the courage, frankly, to increase the investment of our program to be able to do that. But I know, for me, I want the investment to be the right number so that you get the best results. You know what I mean? And that's why we hire good people like Cindy, so that because it's hard to do your profile on your own, right? And I want your profile to make you go like, what? Can I really say that about me?
right. And I think I told you this recently that I have, because of my profile, I have started getting at least 100 connection requests a week. Like, my connections are growing that fast because they're simply seeing my profile now, and they're
Right.
and they're like, "Oh, I think I want to know this person
And how
based on what
targeted?
my
I mean, we haven't
profile."
not asked this. I've not asked you this question before, but how targeted are they? Are you getting, like, are some of those people at least people that you really want to have in your network? Because we all get a lot of connections, right, from people that we don't necessarily are not necessarily a good fit for us to work with, right? Or they want us to pay them money. Are you getting connections of people that you genuinely want to build relationships with?
Yes,
Awesome.
I am. Yes,
Awesome.
but I'm very specific, on who I accept requests from. For that reason, I want to
Mhm.
build those relationships with the people I feel like I can collaborate with and help them too. So yeah.
That's awesome. That's awesome. And we call that the magnet we want to get work, right? We want to create, yes, there's opportunities to go out on LinkedIn and say, "Hey, I think you would be a good fit for I mean, I've gotten messages from people, I kid you not, that say, "You fit our ideal client profile, so you might want to hire us." I'm like, "Okay, I don't even know who you are." You know what I mean? Like, how about you worry about what I need, not what you need, right? And then we can go from there,
Yeah.
right? But when we are focused on building these relationships and creating a profile that's magnetic and having a strategy where you're doing joint venture conversations, interviews on books that, because all of those other people on those books have audiences, right? So that gave you an opportunity to expand your audience to the other people that were authors in that book, right? And all of those things make our marketing magnetic. And who doesn't want that? Who doesn't want people coming to us saying, hey, I think I might be interested in what you do, versus us being out there going, buy my stuff, buy my stuff, buy my stuff.
Yes, I mentioned that first collaborative book that I wrote a chapter in. I have now done 3 of those and written my own book because of that one that started with a conversation because of an assignment that you gave me. But it grew because it's exactly what you said. Like, I found that audience of people, that other person's audience, and they wanted to collaborate because they have the same thing, the same similar things in mind, and it led to 3 different collaborative books and my own book, and all kind TED Talk and all this stuff. So it's just
Unbelievable.
insane. That's the
It's
only
so
word I know to
unbelievable.
use. It's
Honestly, I had
insane.
to go this morning. My car was at the shop and I had to go. It's far because I moved and I didn't change shops yet. So I had it. So my partner was driving me there and I had just seen your post. I got into the car like a crazy person. He had no idea what I was talking about. I was like, you're not going to believe what happened this morning. Blah, 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 blah. But that's how I like, honestly, like, this is what I want for, and I get to talk to her about this today at 2:00, right? Because she happens to be on my calendar to do like a live interview with. So, you know what? I one of the reasons why I do what I do. I mean, again, I love that I get to watch this stuff. It's like I want to put you guys on my refrigerator like my kids' report cards, right? But I also know that as you're building this new chapter of your life, assuming, and I'm going to drive it back to here for you and everybody else listening, assuming we're also paying attention to where the money is, we are building a ripple effect of wealthy women, and women with money will change the world. And I know this. And I mean, I'm not here to get political, but I watch what's going on in the world and I'm like, what the heck can I do about this? This is what we can do about this. We can support other people to be empowered, to show up as their true selves so that they're empowering more people who are empowering more people. And the brighter the light that we shine and we attract to us, the brighter the light in the world gets. And I know that might sound crazy, but I believe that with every bit of my being. And I just want there to be more wealthy women in the world, because women with money have more choices. And that's how we start bringing more light to this world that sometimes feels like it needs more light, right? So, Amy, I'm so proud of you and so excited for you. And I am going to be at Times Square, even if I have to fly up from Florida to do it. I am going to be there because it's
Oh,
just so exciting to watch. And we are here, people like Amy and I are here doing this today, you know, as I said in the very beginning of this is a week that we are running this free training, PR Prestige, and KarenYankovich.com/PR Prestige. You can still get in on this for free. You can watch all the replays, and we've got all kinds of fun, like bonuses and cool things that we've got going on if for people that want to join our She's Linked Up Accelerator program. So there's 2 things that I'd love for anybody listening to this right now to do. Number 1, if you haven't yet registered, register for PR Prestige. By the way, one of the things that we're doing for our PR Prestige people, and this is only people that have registered. Obviously, I'd like you to watch the training before you do this, but we're running, again, I wanted to reimagine this and do this kind of with my intuition. How can I connect more deeply with the people that are registered for this training? I am running private masterminds for everybody that wants to be a part of one that has joined this PR Prestige training. So I don't even know how many there's going to be, probably a lot. But there's not going to be more than, I've committed to there not being more than 5 people on a mastermind, and they're completely free. And the reason we're doing this is we gave you 3 days worth of training, right? Which again, you can still get if you register. But now I want you to take those 3 days and I want to help you create a plan with it so that I'm bragging about you on the next event we have like this, right? Because so we're doing it. So you would get to be a part of these masterminds. The masterminds are going to be like tomorrow and over the weekend and Monday or Tuesday. So number one, if you have not yet joined PR Prestige, you totally want to do that because it's still free. And number two, if you want to know what it looks like to get some support on some of the stuff we've talked about today, grab a spot on my calendar. I've opened up my calendar wide for these next few days. Go to KarenYankovich.com/call. You can grab a spot on my calendar. And let me see if I might actually have a banner for that. Oh, we don't want Choose LinkedUp Ignite. Just go to KarenYankovich.com/call. Just go to KarenYankovich.com/call. Get a spot on my calendar. Those are the two things that are the next step you would take. So if you want to have conversations like this, like Amy, I can't even believe we're saying this. Like my picture is going to be on Times Square. Then, and by the way, Amy, let me ask you something. Obviously, my program is an investment, and you've invested in other things. But how much does it cost to get your like? How much does this press publicity you're getting cost?
I have no idea.
But it costs nothing. You're not paying. You're not
No,
paying to be interviewed on podcasts, right? You're not
No.
you're not paying for all these interviews. Like this is
No.
you don't have a $10,000 a month publicist. Am I right? Or have you hired one that I
You're
haven't known
right.
about? Right.
That's right.
So yes, there's the learning there's a cost to learning all of this and to being a part of all of these things. But this PR strategy that we're talking about here is generally it's generally free, right? So this is such a great way, especially if you're looking at 2024 and thinking, what the heck is going on? Because I'm hearing from a lot of people that marketing is shifted and they're like, where are the clients? What's going on? This is where the clients are, right? This is how you get clients. You stand out from the crowd. So the next step, if this is intriguing to you, either register for PR Prestige, which I will drop in the comments below here when I'm done here. I can't do it while we're live. Or grab a spot on my calendar. And if you want to get an experience of what it's like to work together, PR Prestige, you'll get an opportunity to be a part of one of these masterminds. And if at that point you want to know what it's like to work deeper, we can have that conversation then. Or if you're like, nope, I'm in, tell me what it looks like, you can just go right to my calendar.
I want to say, sorry to interrupt you.
Please.
That,
my life about you.
My life has literally exploded over the past year because it was just over a year ago that I met you. And people ask me all the time, like, what is your secret weapon? Like, what is happening with you? And I can say honestly that this is it. And I have told people, like, this is my secret weapon. Like, Karen is my secret weapon. And I'm not one to just blanketly endorse people. I'm very, very particular about people that I endorse and things that I share. And I'm just being honest, that this is my secret weapon. This is the reason that everything has exploded because of the things that I learned from you in this program. So I just want to share that and just be honest that, it's nothing. I did the work, but I had to be willing to be open and make an investment in myself.
And I remember, Amy, that investment was like, oh my gosh, can I really do this? Am I really going to do this? And, listen, it's not $1 million, but it's often one of the biggest investments people are making, as they step into this next chapter. So I am so grateful that you trusted me with your investment of time and money. And it has been so much fun to watch your journey. I'm not kidding you. Like I was bouncing off the walls this morning, like as I was going to get my car, I was like, you are not going to believe this. So thank you for entertaining me and for being so much fun to work with. And I cannot wait to see what's next. Well, so let me ask you this. What is next for you, Amy?
Oh my goodness. Well, first of all, thank you again for all that you've done. And I feel like a big sister, like you and Maria are just my big sisters, who I'm like,
well, I think I'm going to drag Maria to Times Square, by the way.
Of course you are. She better be there. But the TEDx talk is what's coming next. It's I don't know how much I can share about that, but yeah, it's getting close to happening.
Okay. And then also
got some news that I can't share yet, but yeah.
Oh, exciting. Also, I'm going to say this, if you have not yet connected with Amy on LinkedIn, you absolutely should do that. Because if you want, because it beyond working with me, you can work with Amy, right? Amy will, Amy will take your money, right? Amy? We'll take your money.
Karen says, I will take your money.
Yeah. To help you to kind of figure out what this looks like for you, right? How you can, especially if you're feeling in a space where you don't feel like you fit into the same box that everybody else fits into. You totally want to book some time with Amy. I know she's got a way to just kind of get a taste of what it's like to work with her. I highly recommend you do that because being around Amy's energy alone is worth that investment. So check out what Amy's doing, check out what I'm doing. And then you know what? You get to be a part of this world where we have our little She's Linked Up party on Times Square in January, which we would love for you all to be a part of. Angela McCready saying so she's so excited for you too. We're
Aw,
also excited for
thank
you, and
you.
I can't wait to watch what's happening next in your business and your life, Amy. Thanks so much for being here today.
Anytime, anytime. I love every time I get to chat with you, it's a pleasure. So thank you
Awesome.
for being you, Karen.
So the Love Fest is ending. See you guys soon.